we are not condemned by the choices that other people have made in their own lives.
Right.
So, for example, this supposed statistic that 50% of marriages end in divorce, which is basically made up, but let's just pretend that it's true for a moment. It's like, okay, but that's not my marriage, okay? Because that statistic is being weighed down by a whole bunch of people who made all the worst choices, and their marriages failed very quickly. And so that's how you come up with a 50% statistic. But if you do basic things, like, for example, if you're religious, if you just spend time together, if you listen to each other, if you're honest with each other.
The great advice Andrew Klavan gives to young men: don't have sex with people who aren't your wife.
Right. If you do basic things like that, your chances of not getting divorced are much, much better. So you don't, just the fact that this has happened to so many other people really has no bearing on you and your own life.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce King here today. I want to give my commentary on this whole red pill versus traditional conservatives, whatever they like to categorize all conservatives. And it seems like we beefing, all right? We out here beefing. So you saw from the intro, I played this video. Matt Walsh explained why divorce statistics don't apply to every couple. And it's kind of true. That's kind of true, right? It's like, for instance, when you put the statistics like, as a black man, your average income will be $30,000 a year. Okay, but why is it? Like, it doesn't tell you why the outcome is what it is. It just tells you the results. Hey, there's 50% of marriage that ends in divorce. In some cases, it's even more than 50%. It doesn't explain you the why. It just tells you the what. Hey, look, this is what it is. This is the result. This is the current results of this society. And Matt Walsh is trying to make a mythological point like, hey, the methods in which they got to that number, that's what he's arguing about. Right? And then the red pill came out for him. Pearl comes out. Hey, Tim Pool agrees to host a debate between, I forgot who this is. Myron. Okay. Yeah. Myron from Fresh and Fit, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and Piers Morgan also agreed. Matt, can you put your money where your mouth is and actually debate this? Trad-cons can't out-debate facts. Marriage is a dying institution, and religion can't save men from promiscuous women. Now, this is where I disagree with Mr. Myron Gaines here. Marriage is a dying institution. Well, if you look at it now, marriage was never supposed to be something for the mass group of people. In my view, marriage was a religious institution. This is my argument too, is that as a conservative, I believe marriage shouldn't even be something that the government validates or oversees, right? Because I see marriage as a religious institution. And if you talk to Ben Shapiro, he has problems with marriage being associated with government. So the red pill and the Christians and the conservatives kind of actually agree with the marriage point. The point we were trying to argue, I think, when conservatives talk about marriage, we're talking about the nuclear family. However you decide to do that. And marriage is a good way to enforce that nuclear family. That's all we're trying to say here. And I don't think it's a dying institution. I just think our culture is dying and everything spans from culture. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had this argument that marriage isn't the foundation of society. Like, Daily Wire, the older conservatives, they were like, marriage is the... No. I believe culture is the foundation of society. And if you have a dying culture, everything else dies. Nothing about this culture incentivizes people to stay together. And a problem I have with red pill is that they say religion can't save men from promiscuous women. And I'm like, it does. In a way, it talks about like the parables. Like if you read the Bible or you read any religious text, it warns you about promiscuous women. Right? They push, you should marry virgins and all this stuff. The problem is that the people themselves are not applying it. The people themselves are not enforcing it. It's the same thing with the red pill people when you deal with your followers. You tell your followers, hey, don't follow these OnlyFans models. Listen to what they say. Observe these women. Learn from their behavior. So that way you can take the information and apply it in a way so you can filter out these women, or the reality of what it is. What these red pillers always complain about? Their followers always following these OnlyFans girls. And in my view, it seems like it's a way to justify hedonism. And this is one of my not complaints, but this is one of my hesitancies with the red pill, is that it's glorifying hedonism and pretending that it is virtue. Oh, I could F all these women. And the funny part about all this is they want to get at us conservatives because we want an alternative. We want to create an incentive structure where we can mitigate against human nature. Because he was like, yes, it can. I can prove it. Let's do a debate soon. I was unfortunately able to make it the last one, but I would like to take this topic on concerning others won't. Right, and I did some of his content. I reacted to, and I think he's a good debater. I think he represents the Christian worldview pretty well. And here's a clip of him talking with Rollo. It's a panel. It's going to be a little bit long, but I want you guys to see this video. Let's check it out.
The Christian worldview says it's really it's optimal if you maintain chastity until marriage. And the red pillars go, yep, that's true, because these men, they sure like those women with low body counts, and they sure like these women to not have their baggage. So the red pillars go, yep, you Christians are right about that. And the Christians go, okay, you should probably get married young because it's better for fertility. The red pillars go, yep, that's also true, and it stops feminism, and it stops all sorts of things that they could get into if you marry them at 18, 19, 20 years old, right? So you start mapping these on one for one. You go,
perfect world.
Yeah, you go, holy shit. We actually agree with a whole lot of these descriptive claims here, right? When they're applied to our worldview. But then here's where all hell breaks loose, where the tires come off.
And then there's Pearl.
Right. Yeah, where the tires come off of this car and the fucking thing turns into a wreck is this. The red pillars go out. They're like, listen, let me tell you what's actually happening right now. What's actually happening is that this small subset of men, about 10% of them, they're banging all the chicks, all of them, not some of them. They got all of them, and they're just smashing them like no tomorrow. And by the time they're all done smashing these chicks, and all these chicks want one of these particular guys, so they're all competing for them. Right. And then by the time they're done and they realize, oh, shit, I'm screwed. I've hit the wall or whatever, and I'm never going to get one of these guys. You can then have her. She's there for you. To go ahead and pick up and go home with. Right. And so the Christians look at that and they go, the second they hear that, they go, Rah! Because they can't envision that female mate selection could actually be that primitive. But when you look at all the data, you look at all the polling, and you look at all of these dating sites, the dating sites are the big tells, right? You look at Tinder, you look at all the, it's always the same story over and over and over. So then they get into this fight over degeneracy. And what the Christians say is, look, what we want to do is convert society to Christianity so that we don't have this kind of like overage of a degenerate problem.
So you've seen that, you heard that. So they agree, like, imagine, so the whole red pill movement, I use Rollo because I commented on this post here, right? I said, hey, is it just me, or does the red pill come across the fetus to me? Like, there's no point in pushing for change in our culture. It took a long time over generations to get the culture to its current state, but ideas to push it the other way is impossible. And that's the sentiment that I'm getting, especially from the Myron tweet. Myron was like, you can't fix modern women. No one said they wanted to fix modern women, Myron. We said we wanted to create an incentive. Because this is the problem I have with red pill. You guys complain about, society is this way, that way. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing to fix it? Y'all say, just participate in it, enjoy it for what it is, and that's it. But, you ain't having, you're not getting anything out of it. At this point, it's like masturbating. You're not going to have kids out of it. You're not going to get a family out of it. Your genetic bloodline will end with you. This is the argument, because at the end of the day, conservatives have more kids than liberals, right? And if we go down this trend, what's going to happen? The future is going to be conservative. Because at the end of the day, as a parent, I have more influence over my kid than Myron will ever have over my son. Oh, Kenny, how you know Myron got millions of followers? It doesn't matter how much followers Myron has. He can never influence my kid if I don't allow it. If I don't buy my son a phone, how he's gonna learn about Myron? If I homeschool my kids, how he's gonna learn about Myron? Literally, if conservatives look, let's play a game here. Let's play a hypothetical here. Let's say conservatives decided, okay, culture doesn't want to change, the society doesn't want to change. F it. We can only control what we can control. Let's do arranged marriages. Let's coordinate with other conservative families, and let's date within our community. Let's not date outside our community, because that all this degeneracy out here, the unmodest women. Let the red pillars deal with the liberal women and the promiscuous women, the feminist women. Let them deal with that. All the good women, marriage material women. We're gonna raise them up in two parent households, strong families, strong values, and we're only gonna date amongst ourselves because we know what we're getting here. And there's stats out there, because red pillars love stats. Arranged marriage have the highest probability of success After arranged marriage is traditional marriage. So if you're saying, hey, modern women are impossible to date, there's no point in dating modern women, then conservatives are gonna go, okay, we're just gonna go with the hermit strategy. We're gonna go with the cultural bunker strategy. We're only gonna date amongst ourselves. We'll filter out anyone who doesn't associate with our ideology. So if you're a red pillar who's like, nope, you're not dating my daughter. Oh, you used to be a feminist? Oh, no, you're not dating my son. We're only gonna date amongst each other. We're going to do all arranged marriages the same way Jewish people do with each other, right? And then we'll raise our families in that way, in our little bubble, right? And then you see the stats, because, red pillars love stats. Conservatives have more kids. Republicans have more kids. If the trend continues, and red pillars, you're not having any kids. Now, some of you may have parents, maybe you have your divorcee. Hey, but all I know is you're not replacing. We're outbreeding you, essentially, is where I'm going with this. And in the future, in a long enough time span, our culture will be the dominant culture because we're just the ones having more kids. We're the ones who are influencing the future generations. And this is the thing that Christians are talking about. But red pills, it goes over their head because they're too busy wanting to justify their hedonism, justifying them why, oh, it's okay for me to F a bunch of hoes, right? Here's a comment. Then you can go ahead and be a hero, one commenter says. And I said, so push no alternatives. Protect a concept that only the top 20% of men can benefit from and leave the 80% struggling and lonely. Speaking out against the courts, divorce is a step necessary for change, but it's not going to happen overnight. And this is the argument I was having, that it's a generational thing. It took a long time for feminism to be what it is today. It took a long time for our culture to be at the current state that it is today. And all I see from red pillars is there's no point in trying. Right? When you live in a free society, natural selection is always at play. I agree, Jonathan here. Either you adapt or you deal with the consequences. I agree. So if you don't date, you don't get married, you don't breed, you don't have any kids, then your ideas die with you. Because what are the percentages of men that's going to be able to influence a large mass of people without having kids? The odds are not looking in your favor. And let's play this game. I'll even make the argument that red pillars have the red pill audience, the red pill podcasters, Rolo, who else? All these other people, they actually have an incentive not to fix the problem. It's the same problem with feminism. If sexism doesn't exist, feminism loses its purpose. It loses its clout. Same thing with red pill. Red pill needs these problems to exist, because if these problems don't exist, if the red pill actually start marching for the solutions of society, they lose their following, they lose their purpose, they'll lose their attention. It's a conflict of interest there. My argument is that red pill don't have any incentive to actually fix the problems that they've noticed in society. They try to claim, oh, how improbable it is. It's impossible, right? There's no concept, just observations. Even if nobody talks about it, it still persists. Of course, it always persists. It's human nature, right? But my argument is religion is the balancer of human nature, because in the day, these dudes, they think they're smart, but they're not. Protect the concept. Even if red pill didn't exist, this concept will still thrive. It's biology. Okay, let's play that game. Okay, men want sex, right? We all know, we all recognize that, right? Men want sex. Man, what is stopping men from just saying, F it, let's make women slaves. Let's make women second-class citizens. Let's make women our sex objects. Because remember, it's men that gives women their rights in society, right? Who give women the right to vote? Women didn't give themselves the right to vote. Women didn't go to war to get their right to vote. Men gave them the right to vote. Okay, so if men give it, men take it away. Okay, why? What's stopping us from taking it then? Is it morality? Because my argument is morality is a part of human nature. So if you're appealing to biology, oh, I'm using biology to justify my stance, then I can justify my stance with morality. What's stopping you from doing evil and despicable things for your benefit, man? This is the argument I'm having. They always want to blame, oh, it's my biology. I can't help it but put my dick in all these women. I can't help it. Okay, that means you have a lack of morality. That's it. Just like if I have a lack of principles, you own that. But these men don't want to own that. They want to sit there. On one hand, they want to pretend they're virtuous, but on the other, when you use virtue to judge what they're doing, they're gonna say, "Oh no, it's just reality, bro. It's just reality." No, the reality is humans are moral creatures as well. They're not just the biological. It's an atheist view. An atheist lacks a lot of substance in a philosophical debate, because when you ask questions about things that goes against materialist rationale, they cannot explain it. What's stopping a man from having 4 wives? If you're atheist, why are you married? Why you condemn cheating then? Atheists shouldn't have any morality, but they do. It's informed by something, regardless if it's religion or the state law. And my argument is, it seems like atheists only respect consequences. This is why they can say men can be women and women can't be men, but at the same time they're gonna get mad at you if you say there's a God. Like, it make sense. And the red pillars are falling into a similar trap that I have been observing. It seems like they come, oh, you're conflating the black pill with the red pill. No, it's the same thing. You think the culture here is unchangeable. There's no point in changing the culture. And the reason why you see there's no point in changing the culture is because they have an incentive to maintain this culture, right? These red pillars get to have sex with all these women, right? And then when they're done having sex with all these women, they want to go marry a good girl. Now let's flip it. Let's flip it. Let's do feminism. If a woman was out here having sex with all these guys, which red pillars said that they condemn that as bad, red pillars have a moral position saying, hey, that's wrong. A woman shouldn't be able to sleep around all these men and then get a good man at the end of it. That's wrong. But you're doing the same thing. Remember, conservatives are judging things from a societal point of view. This is one reason why this is how political people think. We don't think like you red pillars. Political people, we think on a societal level. Hey, I want society to be this way. It's not about men or women. We know, hey, polygamous cultures are not the most successful cultures. It's monogamous cultures that are. And that's the system we want to enforce because we all benefited from it. But now that the red pillars finished benefiting from a monogamous culture and is going to a polygamous culture, it's almost like the same problem that I say with women that red pillars have. They want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to have all the sexual access, sleep with 50 plus women, and then get married to a good woman at the end. Not realizing that you have bad habits from that. Not realizing that out of those 50 women, there's a lot of choices for them to be like, hey, I want to get Myron on a sexual whatever account. I'll pay you $50,000 to give a false claim against them. Okay, done. Like, you open yourself up to risk. And it seemed like red pillars, they don't want to make a trade-off. As a conservative, from a societal point of view, from a moral point of view, pick your struggle. Either you want the good girl and you go down that path, you go down the path of virtue, or you go down the path of vice. But then don't be jumping between the two, because then it shows inconsistencies. And then they're gonna go back. Oh no, it's not a philosophy. It's not a way of life. It's just a praxeology. It's just an observation. Red pill's not a philosophy. Okay, but you have an opinion about something, but you want to say it's just an observation. Okay, if I make an observation, you make an observation, and I decide to make a different choice based on that observation, why I'm mad at Matt Walsh for? He saw the same data you saw, and he says, I think I need to shift through the data more. I think I know a better reason why that is. And I don't think the data is saying what you say is red pillars. Right? The minute you have an opinion about something, it's no longer an observation. Observation is, I'm telling you the data. Hey, this is the marriage rates. That's an observation. But y'all have an opinion. It's obvious y'all have an opinion about that. You can't out-debate facts, right? Yeah, but you can out-debate narratives, and this is your narrative over the fact. Matt Walsh has a separate narrative over the fact. That's where the debate is at. It's like the perception isn't reality. Okay, look at all the marriage statistics. Okay, what do you have arranged marriage in there too? Arranged marriage is a specific type of marriage. That marriage is 83%, has an 83% success rate. So conservatives say, okay, let's adopt that then. Let's adopt more courtship. But that arranged marriage, that's a cultural thing. And all I'm saying is, okay, as a conservative, let's adopt that culture. Not to the degree like how Indians do it. I mean, no, the way Indians do it is fine. They have a list of people, a list of suitors, and they're like, here, daughter, pick one. But there has to be a culture surrounding that to enforce that. And I think that's what conservatives are arguing for. A culture. And you see trends of it. I just showed you a clip. Modesty. Men want modesty again. Gen Z people can't stand sex scenes anymore. Like, you see the tide changing. Right? But these older dudes, right? I think Myron's in his 30s. They just want to preserve it because they want to have their fun. Oh, I want to be smashing hoes. And then I want my 4 wives at the end because he's I believe he's Muslim. And even the Muslim people come for Myron. They're like, oh, you're not a good Muslim. What are you doing here? So even then, religion is the fact that people don't respect it. And that's a cultural thing. It's not all religionists can't save men from these promiscuous women. Actually, I argue they can. It can. I agree with Andrew here. It can. But the systems have to be in place. And they change starts with you. You can't change the world if you don't first change yourself. So red pills, you get to enjoy the degeneracy of this hedonistic instant gratification culture, and then you want the good girl at the end. You're doing the very same thing you chastise women for. And they don't see that moral hypocrisy because their morality is based on relativism. Relative to who? If it's to men, it's okay. If it's to women, it's not. This is why red pillers get called sexist. This is my problem. I'm just being honest with you. As a conservative, this is my hesitancy towards the red pill. This is why I would not consider myself a red pillar. Because what you guys do and what you guys preach are two different things. And even your followers, they don't even follow what you preach. But then you want to chastise religion as, oh, it's dying. Red pillars don't even follow what they preach. I don't know how many times while doing research for this video, I've seen videos of a guy they held in high regard. Then they find out he married to some single mom, chastise him. So if it's just an observation and the guy said, hey, I know all the information that red pill gives me and I decided to make this choice, y'all still chastise them. How y'all not can call the red pill a philosophy? Make it make sense. And it's the same liberal rationalism argument that I'm noticing with the red pill. Is that they want to stay in this vague, oh, we don't have strong stances on anything. Then you stand for nothing. Then you can't sit here and tell men they shouldn't date an OnlyFans woman. If he knows all the information, he does the action anyway, hey, he should be allowed to do it. If he becomes a high value man and he gets cucked by his wife, y'all should be fine with it. Y'all should, oh, he made his decision. But no, it's obvious. You guys have a moral position on it. It's just relative. While conservatives, their morality, their moral stance is more objective. More, hey, it doesn't matter what I want exclusively. Because society can't stand with one side having dominance over the other. It's always going to be in this cycle. We're always going to be caught up in this cycle of revolt, establishment. Revolt, establishment. First, women claimed they had misjustices. They rose to power. Now men are in this situation where they're claiming injustice. And it's just going to repeat itself. And conservatives are like, yo, look, our society can't stand being divided like this. Let's try to unite. And this is the problem that you red pillars have. All conservatives are saying is, hey, there's got to be an alternative, and we're trying to find it. But instead, we're getting condemned for it because we're not following along with what the red pillars want us to follow along. How y'all not any different from liberals? Liberals believe this. Everyone has a right to be a liberal, but nothing else. Red pillars are doing the same thing. Everyone has a right to be a red pillar and nothing else. And the minute you speak out against the praxeology, which is a philosophy, but the minute you call it a philosophy, they're in the comment section saying, no, it's an alternative. It's an observation. There is no concept. It's just observations. So your admitting is a subjective view. It's not based on reality or fact. You have some reality and some facts. Yes, I agree. You see a lot of the problems in society, but what's the solution for it? What's the subscription for it? At least conservatives have a long-term plan for it. We have most of the kids. We have more influence over the future generation of Americans. We're going to teach them not to go down this route. And what you're teaching. So then it becomes a battle of influences again. Just like liberals are trying to influence conservative children, you're trying to influence conservative children to what? Create this degenerate culture that we're living in today. This hedonistic culture that we live in today. That's the truth. Y'all can't admit, that's the truth. Y'all stay in this vague little, it's observation so you can not get criticism and you'll just give criticism. You don't get criticism, but you give criticism. Make it make sense. Man, we criticize, oh, you're denying facts. The data doesn't say what you think the data says. That's the argument that Matt Walsh is having. Simple argument. But then y'all straw man, mischaracterize, misframe. I don't know, man. This is just my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section below. You agree with me, disagree with me? You have other opinions? I would like to hear it all on the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.